narratives, centers the voices too often silenced. Zachery's words don't just speak, they testify. Beyond the page, Zachery is the creator and host of the Just to Us podcast, an intern host on the Black Canvas, aired through the Beverly Nation online radio, and has had features in poetry showcases, spoken word events, and community dialogues across South Carolina. He is a proud member of the Free Verse Poetry Festival family and 100 Authors to Watch community. Zachery currently resides in Charleston and recently assumed a position on our own Poetry Society of South Carolina board. I give you Zachery Williams.
Good afternoon. Thank you for just allowing me to come in front of y'all and read some of my pieces. Definitely a good introduction. Poetry has been a calling to me, the way how we express ourselves, the way how we, how we feel at that moment, the way how the world works. So poetry is one of the ways that I express myself, the way how we get through life. So hopefully my poem will come some way or some fashion in your way. The first poetry I'm going to read is called Waiting for You to Come Back. I've been sitting in the same corner, the same shadow, the same silence, waiting for you to come back. The life left on, left my heart cracked open, bleeding the memories of the old wounds I can't close. Everybody's saying, move on and let go. But how can I let go of the air that bleeds your names, that echo from your chest every night when the world felt quiet? I swear, I see you in my dreams, talk to you in the empty room, laugh at the jokes you ain't here to finish, waiting for the sound of your steps that never come. And they watch me broke, being vulnerable and crying, feeling the grief that you left me and never came back. Counting the days I fold, but they don't know the grief that I carry as the wounds. Tonight I'll hold you to myself with prayer, poetry. So I've been right now, heart heavy, eyes sharp, waiting for you to come back. If you don't, I will carry your name with a battle cry. So that is called Waiting for You to Come Back. This one is called They Are Watching Us. They are watching us. The eyes are the heart in the darkness place, circling every dreams that we dare to speak, waiting for our knees to buckle. For our heart is sharp and loud enough for making every event for news. They are watching us, studying our smiles, measuring our joy like it's stolen. We ain't earned a single drop of peace in the world that bullets ourselves. Our hearts have been broken. I felt it. The room's too silent. People just staring at me, wonder who I am, what I'm going to be, questioning why I'm here in this room. They're not rooting for us. They're not praying for us. They're just watching us to fail throughout life. The moment that we slip up is the moment that they can judge us. So don't let them watch us. Let us see us for individual person who we are. Because we are one person, one sound, one mind, and we have the same goals. So that is called They're Watching Us. And I'm trying to have this thing in order. It's called Just Hold Us. Basically, or Just Hold Me, either or. When you love, you hurt. And when you hurt, you hate. And when you hate, you're trying to forget. And when you're trying to forget, you start to miss. And when you start to missing, you eventually fall in love again. Every time you near my heart, it has been taken, destroyed. I have nothing else to hold on to for those who took everything from me. I'm hurting all the time. I don't know what to do, but feel like I'm crying inside. I just want somebody to hold me. I'm alone in the dark. Please find me. If one cares, I don't paint just a picture. I paint a picture of my nightmares. I'm sorry. I just don't want to be alone anymore. Feel unheard, unseen, depressed, and weak. No one cares, but yet I'm always feel the sorry one. Someone find me. I'm scared. Please hold me until the end. Just hold me for all I did. Please hold me for when I start crying on you. Hold me when I'm vulnerable. Hold me when I can't do anything. Hold me when the world turn their backs on me. Somebody just hold me. Hold me until the day that I die for my last breath. Thank you. Whisper of affections. Every word you said, my dear, I seem to gloom. A story, a song, I cherish this dream. You shape your thoughts, my heart took it to flight. For your voice, I gently as a guiding light. What every laugh, every joy, every picture that you paint is so clearly. Your joy, your fear, your dreams, my dear. Knowing that your words I'm always near. Listening, understanding, holding you dear. In the quiet of the night when the shadow is softly swift, your voice, your confident guiding my way. Your laughter, I find joy. Your tear, I felt the pain. Every word you speak, my love, our bond is remain. So let your words flow freely, my love, without the doubts. For your words, I let the life be what it is. Sometimes we get misconstrued what we mean by affections. Affection is to love the ones that you love on. The affection is the ones who you care about. The affection is your friend, your mother, your father. So whisperly, me gently, as you whisper affection through my ears. Thank you. Now, the next one is very triggering. I wrote this one because I have seen every person, male or female, go through this, and it's real adderly in its life. So trauma warning. So I want to give you that. Have you ever seen a girl being thrown across the room with a busted eye, a black eye, a busted up lips? The look at her child and say to the child, I will be okay. Have you ever walked in his shoes? He want all his friends to eat at his one big table. Eventually, one of his friends stabbed him in the back. Have you ever woke up on Sunday morning watching your grandparents cooking and smelling like great food, especially like soul food, red rice, collard greens, mashed potatoes, corn on the cob, and you can't forget the homemade sweet tea. Eventually, you got the call the next day, she died. Have you ever walked in her shoes and see our father as a father figure? When the lights go out, she screams. Have you ever walked in his shoes? And eventually, he don't come home the next day and woke up on news and see like on a shirt say rest in peace. Everybody has a story. Some live on and some doesn't. But which one are you? And that's my poetry.
Fast. Faster than I was last year. Okay. Tonight, our special guest, if you want to think about something that you missed out on today, it would be Amy Pence's workshop, by the way. It was quite lovely. And I even think I might have a couple of poems out of it eventually. So each time we have a poet, we do have the workshop, and now they're scheduled so they're all on the same day. So think about that as a way to schedule out your Saturdays once a month. They're worth it, definitely. You learn something. Amy Pence's work spans poetry, hybrid fiction, interviews, and essays. Her latest poetry book out this spring, brand spanking new, We Travel Towards It, from Serving House Books, explores both loss and the necessary resilience and insight needed in the face of climate change-induced natural disasters. Our next featured poet, Chelsea Rathburn, author of Still Life with Mother and Knife and Poet Laureate of Georgia, says of this book, in the aftermath of personal disaster, a storm-felled tree that cleaved a house and a life in two, Amy Pence writes, it was good to fill the sinkhole myself. Both metaphor and fact, the storied canopies of the fallen tree and the gap left in its place provide an opening to probe past losses, beauties, and griefs. We Travel Towards It moves deftly between the personal and the public, from the cleaving of childbirth to the anonymous intimacies of strangers sharing hotels after the ever-intensifying natural disasters on the planet we all call home. Surprising and urgent in the face of climate catastrophe, this is a remarkable collection. High praise there. Other full-length poetry collections include Amour, I knew I was going to mess that up, from Ninebark, and The Decadent Lovely from Main Street Rag, and her hybrid book, Incandescent, was the winner of the Eyelands International Poetry Award in Athens, Greece, which blends fiction, poetry, and scholarship. In 2019, Amy launched her chapbook, Your Posthumous Dress, Remnants from the Alexander McQueen Collection from Dancing Girl Press, with a unique fashion art reading that supported a national nonprofit dedicated to reversing the addiction crisis. She's published stories in a variety of literary magazines, and her debut novel, Yellow, will be released by Red Hen Press in 2026. She's taught composition and poetry for many years, including at Emory University, and continues to tutor students in Atlanta. I think you will find Amy Pence as interesting as that resume. So please welcome Amy Pence.
Well, thank you so much, Robin, and thank you, Jim, for having me and the Poetry Society. And Zachery, that was amazing. That was beautiful. So I'm going to just start with a poem that some of you who are in my workshop, you're going to hear it again. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about our former poet laureate, our last poet laureate, Ada Limon. I don't know if she has been, I've noticed that they have not appointed a new poet laureate. So for now, she retired in April. And so it may be, for now, our last poet laureate for the nation. She has said that poetry gives us permission to feel instead of numbing out. So now is a time when we do not want to numb out, right? So thank you so much for being here, listening to Zachery's words and my own, so that we're not numbing out. So poems keep us reading closely and paying attention. Since many of you are writers, you know that, right? So you are enacting exactly what Ada Limon is asking, to keep everyone awake. So this book, at least part of it, is about climate change as it affected me. And so you've already heard the introduction. But my disaster does not touch on the waves of climate disruptions we have seen this year. So 2025 is the warmest year on record. Deadly floods in South Africa, the Congo, Mexico, Texas, New York City, and New Jersey, wildfires in California, record-setting tornado outbreaks in March. And we've also suffered a huge economic impact because of it. So, you know, my experience that I had in 2017 after Hurricane Irma, and a tree fell on my house, crushed the house. I ran as all I can imagine was under it, was what it taught me is that it's going to affect everybody. And I just got a little taste of it in advance. So I'm a big lover of trees, though. I've always been a big lover of trees. I actually grew up in the desert, Las Vegas, and so I longed for trees. So I'm going to read this poem, Red Oak, Black Oak, and today we did some exercises in the workshop with contrapuntal. So it's in the contrapuntal form, and so it's in the shape of, you can see trees, and so I'll read one column at a time, and then I'll read across each line. Red oak, black oak. Fog-locked trees bear forward, mute, insular, close, unclothed, not disclosing, bound by root, subterraneous, leaf-shorn, time-waved rocky insomniacs, marching ghost-like, backlit, sketched our branches, arterial, pumping dormant seeds. We gather gray, frayed by winter, sentient red oak, bur oak, black, our mantras like egos, resolving, disintegrating, silvered on the horizon, ancestors conjoined. This is the second column, 3 generations in the photo, I pass by them each morning, arranging myself for the day. Each dead faces the flash. 2 wear 50s pillbox hats. My grandmother's iron board flat. My mother beams, holds a fragment, me. My sister grasps father's hand, just she and I now left alive. All their grievances, adventures, mistakes, extinguished by this day. My uncle, our only suicide, still a crew cut boy, wears a look acute with longing. Forms incarnate and crumble as grandmother did when she found him, stilled amid smoke. Low we abide, close apart. This is the third version. Fog-locked trees, 3 generations bear forward in the photo. Mute, insular, I pass close by them, unclothed each morning, not disarranging my closing self for the day. Bound by root, each dead subterraneous faces the flash. Leaf-shorn, 2 wear 50s pillbox hats. Time-waved, rocky insomniacs, my grandmother's marching, ironboard flat, ghost-like. My mother beams, backlit, holds a fragment, me. Sketched, my sister grasps our father's hand, branches, just she and I now, arterial left alive. All their pumping grievances, adventures, dormant seeds, mistakes, we gather gray, extinguished by this day. Frayed by winter, my uncle, our only suicide. Sentient red oak, still a crew cut boy. Bur oak, black, wears a look acute, our mantras like egos with longing. Forms resolving disincarnate and crumble, integrating as grandmother did. When silvered, she found him stilled on the horizon amid smoke. Lo, we ancestors conjoin, abide, close, apart. So the second poem mentions, this is called The Dash. And so you'll see throughout the poem the many different definitions of the word dash. And so the poem also mentions the word samadhi, and samadhi is, of course, to understand an ultimate reality. And so there was a moment once I got through the door that I thought first, this is how people die. And then I was out of the house and I thought, first I was afraid, and then this wonderful wonder came across me in terms of, wow, this may be it, and it's going to be wonderful. So I just had that beautiful moment. Now, most people who experience a natural disaster, I found this out just recently, after I finished this book and I was doing a little research, go through 5 stages. And so first they go through the feeling of heroism because they survived, right? Then there's a honeymoon phase. And also in the honeymoon phase and the heroic phase, they're helping others, you know, in the natural disaster. And so they're full of adrenaline, also probably in shock. Then comes disillusionment. And it usually takes at least a year to kind of get through that kind of impact that you've survived in your life. And then there's reconstruction, where you kind of got everything together. So I didn't know I was experiencing those, but in a way, this book kind of takes us through that. And there's a heavy disillusionment in the middle. And I'm happy to say I am in the reconstruction phase. So, but let me read the dash. To run or travel in great hurry, of the instant the oak fell, splintered and splintering, of the instinct, a primeval falling, to hold to what's already found, to strike with violence so as to break into fragments, of wet ground, its feral mouth, bursting full-born into storm, of that thread between taut and troubled, the elemental rosebud, when she came glistening from my body, hair almost inhuman, of thoughts needles, prime, puncturing, to destroy, ruin, confound, of time, the clock face, the rock face, the slum in my mansion, the wind in my stillness, the delicate eons of a second. They call it samadhi, a deepening, absorbing surprise. As in this could be my last thought, as in this happens when you die, of this romance, life, this yes, that, to put down on paper, throw off or sketch. The whole in my brokenness, the all in my missingness, a path to what will happen before it even occurs. Of what binds us, the umbilical, of the carnal, its arching, catapult to a dry version of this flesh, to bring to nothing, to spoil. Thread entering the lips, suturing the secret, stitching the unspoken, what we were told had never occurred. To draw through so as to erase the M dash, not the N dash, of the tempest, my mother, and formlessness, of my loss as I ran to the door, used as a euphemism for damn, of this quick, inevitable slice, my core and yours. So this next poem, please don't think you have to clap, but this next poem is called Communion. And I would say that this is part of that honeymoon phase when you want to be around people who've experienced what you have. Communion. You know, that winter after the fall of our displacement, after Harvey, Irma, after Maria, water glutting the streets. We were stacked in a suites hotel with adjusters and contractors from out of state, entire families with dogs. A few of us alone. We passed each other in the hall, carpet dank from boots scuffing upstairs. That fall, I knelt on the bath mat, cried each day for 37 days. In that mid-grade impersonal hotel. You know, that winter of mudslides after the fires of Napa Valley, after the shootings at a concert in Las Vegas. Arms were thrown over the ones they loved, arms thrown. In the evenings, men gathered at the tarped pool with beers. Contrails etched a weakening sky. They sat on plastic chairs playing guitars, sometimes a uke, sometimes that humming fool, the harmonica. I opened the window to hear that sound, look down on their heads bent in a rough circle, some balding, some with ragged ponytails. Grief for what we lost. What we're losing. Let's say we are shipwrecked. Let's say we're fools. Climate change, inertia. We pass each other in the halls, avert our eyes because we are exposed, because we didn't see it coming. So this next poem, at the time, my job was as a tutor at Georgia State in Clarkston. And it acquainted me with the stories of many refugees who live in that area, all of them who were writing essays and coming to me for help. Many have resettled there. It's, I think, the most diverse square mile in all of the nation, apparently, Clarkston. So when I thought I had it bad, I got to sit with a lot of students, and their survival and strength kept me going. And so, of course, now we have a lot of refugees that we have to think about, and what their stories are. So this poem is called Sour Sweet. I enter the Museum of Grief carrying my notebook, a small blued body once drowned. I pick up my daughter's toys as if moving through wax, but she is grown now and gone. I enter the essay, follow my student down the streets of old Kabul, stand as he raps his young man knuckles on the plain wooden door, looking for Afsana. Remember her dark eyes, the jaguar pendant she wore? They ate ice cream together from a stall, sour then sweet one dusty July. 5 feet 4 inches tall, one dusty July before the troops moved in. The museum is made of human tissue. Paki, a grown man, stands 5 feet 4 inches tall. His first memory, Bubadoram, the refugee camp in Ghana. I'm on the back of his uncle's motor scooter before the accident. His cousin balanced like complicated fruit on handlebars. Hunger, a temple we carry everywhere. Roadside, a ghost or maybe a witch wears his dead aunt's face. Afterwards, only Paki walks away alive. There are places we'll never enter again, relics scattered in a crushed house, orange and lights flapping tarp. Another woman writes of rape by her father. It's only a story, she says, but our eyes turn to milk under the fluorescent lights. In the museum, we shovel our errors, pillars torn down, artifacts raided. When we sit close enough, losses beads collect around us, azurite, the jaguar's head, deep garnet wrinkle with the resilience of hands. So I want to thank Zachery again for his vulnerable poem, and I have not yet read this triggering vulnerable poem, and you've given me permission to perhaps read this poem aloud. So this is called Uprooted. It was good to fill the sinkhole myself after the landscaper botched the job. Beneath the plant he poised, thirsty on red clay, divots of emptiness. 10 bags of topsoil go in smelling of the deciduous northern states, released from tight plastic bags, hugging dirt like a girdle. I want to throw in my worn underwear, movers' boxes, insurance adjusters wearing snide smiles. I want to throw in the site of trauma, but here it is as I tap the spade down, the gap the massive oak left and how it will open every year, unhinging its jaws. I used to listen to the tree's elocutions, its deep drinking, its network of mouths, felt the mastery of its anomalous hide. I heard its power, wind in its canopy, indigent. Then the scavenger dawns, my rapacious need for touch, pretending I liked it, saying, really, it's okay when he pulled out. But it wasn't. The way he turned me face down in the middle of the night, used his wrestler's move, his left knee on the back of my left knee, pinning me until he was satisfied. It was a thing, a toy called nothingness. You can't always get what you want. I dreamed the familiar signaling underground to let the tree go, the new oaks and the ancients, all that subterraneous asking and the polite refusals. Weakened by hurricane, weakened by every sonic storm, the rape of the last century, the rape of this one, released finally, the earth opening, then the thudding fall. So thank you. This poem is called The Transapocalypse. So we are apparently in that phase of the transapocalypse, the phase that climate futurists say we now live in, a reality in which humans engage constantly with ecological threats. That which we do not bring into consciousness appears in our lives as fate. Young's words stoke their carnal embers, and you remember several junctures when you could have been compliant, but broke your life into sticks. In the dream, it was always far in the future, an earthquake, nuclear winter, ash upon ash. Could you have predicted the present? A slow burn splayed across hillsides, or the penetrating hurricane growing wetter over heated waters to take your house down? You are in it, the body toxic and fingered with use. Do you see the bleak harmony of stars? If they are written for you, they obscure. So just, one other, thing about where we are now. Homeland Secretary Christine Noem said she planned to eliminate FEMA. And we talked today about right now, the funds that should go to FEMA for helping victims of disasters. $450 million have been reallocated to open, the site in ICE site in Florida. 600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars are going to open other ICE detention centers across the nation. So I think that's something that we have to really think about, is how are we going to help those survivors of natural disasters, and it's really been left to many states and citizens. So I'm going to skip towards the end of the book, where the sort of reconstruction phase, and so right now in my backyard I still have a portion of the tree. I decided to leave part of it, and I recently looked at it, and it's getting smaller and smaller. It's now getting covered with moss, and so this poem is really to my tree. It's called Dendrochronology. She denudes as all trees do, whether of leaf or by decomposition. What's left but her torso bleached? She's all clock now, bark only the dropped skin where air once touched her. My beautiful figment, a dryad for dark measures. After your massive fall, how you shuddered and throbbed in my blood, as mistake, curse, or something I could fix, rather than writ in water. Water you took in beats from a conscious, tangled underwood. You, moat, spoke, brought noon, lost your storied canopy, your ruin, my waking, both of a mind to roam. Not timepieces after all. What decays, by whom shall the knower be known? And I just have two more poems. This is the last poem in the book, but it ends with a rather the thump kind of ending of the book. And so I'm going to read another one after this one. But this one is called Trees Flee, and it's after an image in a Rilke poem, whose Rilke has also been an inspiration for me. All right, here goes with Trees Flee. Every year the fig tree grows more grandiose, its clown hands flapping with contentment, its fruit so pendulous, a cardinal merely strokes one like a nipple. Late summer unfolds the tree's thirst mine, as if we will always be in this charged eros, this air. I mash figs, turn them under my spoon into ruby jam rife with a million seeds, atoms vibrating, both complete and boundless. Because the hurricane took down my oak, the fig's canopy overtakes the laurel, as Apollo did, swarming his god hand so near the nymph, she broke her arms into untold branches, closed and otherless. Was it desire, or was it the spell we were under, an endless pursuit, grasping at what was never ours? What made us think we couldn't kill a world? So yeah, you can see it is not a happy ending to the book. So I'm going to go with something, I don't know, hopefully a little more upbeat. This is from, actually there's the I'm going to actually read two more, if that's okay. So one's called Turning Point. Turning Point. April. And look how Botticelli's angels rise suspended with crowns. The mystic nativity pasted on a storefront window. April, spires and trees form nests for birds unborn. Animals emerge, burrowed or nocturnal, shift in the woods near your house. In April, you flock to supermalls reflexively, buying, bought off, or idle before screens filled with vengeance. April, it could be about hunger and sustenance, about scarcity or foraging, or it could be you're bored. In April, the ultimate smart bomb crosses a cafe, a market, a checkpoint, and you have ceased to notice. Watch for the grenades inside the women, the men. Watch the quiet immolations. 7 billion souls, beautiful, corrupt, winged, nestled, coiled and recoiling. Bodies burn, yet there's a delicious light just now, rising. And this is the last poem in this book, Amour, What Lasts. Not the bones, not my hands to cradle the ashes, your bones. Not the dogwood stuttering open, a gasp and a lapse, time, its movement. Not the icebergs withdrawing, the ozone opening, muscled outcroppings weakened under waves. Not the I love yous, I said, kissing his body and his body and his. Not the umbilical lichen tendering the rocks for over a century. Not owl nor nebula, not Dickinson, not her missing all. Not the father, his smooth head stroked with amusement, his bravado and trembling. Not desire, the scars I left when I left you. Not the skins unmending, not the skins mending. Not our vows, our invasions, our cries, and our engagements. Shoes on a bridge left by fear, its tramplings. Not even the sore pang left by the dead. Not our mistakes, the milk breath, nor the mother curling in. Not the being's center, but the center of being. I am ash and fall, ashes fall, are fallen. What lasts beyond words, the mouths in these words, is the undertongue, an undulation of tongues. What lasts is the coiled activity of the dead, grandfathers, fathers, mother, even Dickinson, in those breaking drawers of earth. We spread you like a blanket, felled and fallen and opus and aria, the being as it breaks open, this velocity. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Zach. You asked what lasts. What I hope will happen, what lasts is this night, we are going to have a reception. We got some really great food and hopefully everyone will stick around for that. I would like to, you've got a room full of the most interesting and nice people in Charleston right here. So we'll have some conversations. I've also got the banner somewhere. What happened to that? But if it's still around, so yes, that's what we're going to do. The very minimum requirement, even if you somehow don't want to have this great reception, what we're going to do is we're going to get a picture of all of us holding the banner in front of us. I want to do that every meeting we have. It's so it's my way of making everybody else who wasn't here jealous that they missed a wonderful night. So anyway, so I want everybody, like, we'll just stand in front of the stage and a couple people, hold it and all just stand there. Miho, because she's got the best camera. We'll try to